play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstastingo gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Let me introduce my panel of awesomeness tonight. I'm Aero, you know me. Immediately to, well, my left, your screen's right, I've got Murda. Welcome, Murda.
What's up, guy? This way? I don't know what side you're on. What's up? How you doing? I'm excited. Grand Finals night, Aero.
It's exciting for sure. And to Murda's left, your right from there, is the one and only Recychic.
Hi everyone, welcome to Between Two Boys with Aero.
Well,
I'm between two boys.
Yeah, Murda's the one in the middle.
That's okay. You're the special guest.
The special guest. All right, so it's the finals. We're in the finals. It's Deathwing's Hookah Lounge versus ReGen Retro, and this is going to be a fantastic series. I have to imagine. Just looking at how these teams have played and performed in the playoffs, they've both done really well, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to cast.
I think so, yeah.
And first time us three have tried doing this together.
Yeah.
Right?
This will be great. I think it'll be
Aero, I am noticing something pretty special in the background there. What you got going on, Aero?
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about this over here? This disc
I am.
Yeah.
Pretty spectacular.
This was a neat little thing that I got from the NGS leadership. Other way, Rec. That's just a wall.
Oh, that is just a wall, isn't it?
I'll speak for the board quickly since we are on the NGS channel. It was it was a huge thank you to Aero. 2 seasons in a row with an insane amount of casts. What is it? 118 right now. It says on the screen. Insane.
For this season, yeah.
Absolutely deserves it. The board respects everything you do and loves you, so it was a token of our appreciation for a job well done as the NGS headcaster.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Big shout out to the board and, you know, really to all of our casters. We have a lot of great people doing a lot of great things here, and you know, I'm glad to be a part of that as both a caster and the headcaster.
And maybe the cast.
Maybe. So I've got a whole bunch of interview questions here. It looks like you probably got the same for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge, Murda.
Sure did. Yes, I did.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. Do you maybe want to run through these real quick? Do you have the questions and the answers?
I do. So let's talk a bit first about Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Of course, they're entering tonight's Grand Finals matchup as the #1 seed in the Division A playoffs. And our good friend Valkymer reached out to our captains tonight, StarFox64 from Deathwing's Hookah Lounge, and asked a few questions. Asked a bit about their team history, where StarFox stated that they've been together for the past 5 years. Devo Patches, StarFox starting with Heroes of the Dorm, and then they joined up Lion Speed with Big Wiz, Patches, Glaucus, Masterfish, and Varcheezy, and Star Fox as well. Then later on, they moved over to Luxorian Snake with Devo, Blue Star Fox, and finally back over to Lion Speed again, and now renamed as Deathwing's Hookah Lounge here in Season 8. Their inspiration comes from Shia LaBeouf, his speeches. They get them going. The HGC draft music as well. They say all the usual while they run it down in Brawl. Final question I'll look at here. What are they most excited about? They say the best hero in the game has not been played in NGS Division A yet. So they are excited to surprise everyone with the new meta that no one knows about. And I think they're alluding to tonight here in these Grand Finals, Aero.
Well, that'll be an exciting time for sure. Are you all done with the questions for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge?
I think, I mean, I didn't get through all of them, but I think, you know, that was kind of my favorites of the selection.
Sure. Well, okay, I'll go through a couple of the questions I've got here for ReGen Retro. They came in at number 3. You saw earlier there, they were 18-10, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge 23-5. They tied with the number 4 seed, Goodbye Forever. So a couple of things here. So any special history behind how your team came together? It says, we recently got Meli, meaning Meliodas, and Splash on. Zammy, Deltron, and Aaron are veteran ReGen. This is Zammy Bars talking. I was brought on as a tank and then became captain, and Splash is assistant captain. Then, as far as how they communicate during a match, and I think this is always important to understand about teams and how they, you know, how they speak to each other and what they're looking for. It says the team calls rotations and possible picks. We all look out for each other and try to call out who needs help and heals and who the target is. We have a macro shot caller and a micro shot caller. So I think that's mostly pretty standard for a lot of teams that I've seen, and probably Murda you've talked to. And the last thing here, do you have any surprises in store? Says maybe we have surprises in store, maybe not.
Oh, you forgot the smile in there.
There is a smile in there.
Yeah, I saw that smile too. So maybe maybe he does have something up his sleeve tonight, the captain there for Gen Retro.
So let's take a quick look at the standings and the maps, and then we'll get this moving forward here. So for the standings, again, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge coming in at number 1, and ReGen Retro at number 3. For the brackets, how did they get here? So Deathwing's Hookah Lounge defeated Beast Coast in round 1, 2-1. After that, they defeated Goodbye Forever 3-1, and so now they find themselves in the finals. In the lower half of the bracket, ReGen Retro defeated Wholesome Halfwits 2-1. That was a fun match to watch. And then immediately after that, the number 2 and number 3 seed, ReGen Retro versus Dread Pirates, ReGen Retro took that 3-1 as well. So both of these teams had a 2-1 and then a 3-1 victory to get where they are here today. And
I think our stream title is currently off. I'm going to try to fix it, but if I can't, I'm sorry.
I thought I had it fixed.
It says number 4 ReGen Retro.
Oh, I forgot to change that.
Yeah,
when I first looked at it, it was...
Man,
They had it
no.
Here we go.
set
Here we go.
differently,
I got it. We're good.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. All right. I'm going to wait to do maps until... No, I can do it now. We'll do it again later. So the map bans here we had from Deathwing's Hookah Lounge, the ban on Braxis Holdout and Alterac Pass. For ReGen Retro, the ban on Battlefield of Eternity and Dragonshire. And our first pick is going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and that was selected by Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Does that all sound correct, Murda?
That's what I received from our captain tonight, Star Fox, reaching out before the game. This first map, though, Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of those maps where you're going to have to worry a lot about the wave clear, and it's a different style map than we're going to see from the rest of the pool available tonight. I think this first one might not be indicative on how the rest of the set will go. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good place to start, right? You've got fast rotations, you've got, you want some wave clear, you've got a boss with a combination of an objective. It really is, it was the number 2 map in NGS last season. I think it's number 3 this season behind Battlefield of Eternity. But it's there for a reason. And this is going to really showcase these two teams' strengths and, you know, what they're looking to do tonight. Now, in their regular season, ReGen Retro had banned Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, when they played in the regular season, and that was 2-0 in favor of Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
Yeah, it's actually a really good thing to bring up. Of course, these teams have played before this season, and it was, I think, quite some time ago. Do we know when that match was?
It was...
let me try to pull it up.
112. So it's been a month.
It's been some time.
Yeah,
it's been some time. And I, you know, obviously, I know a bit about ReGen Retro from being, you know, familiar with the org. Obviously, they've built this roster up across the season. So is it the same roster? Is it going to be the same look that they got all the way back in January, or does Retro have something different to show them?
You know, I'm hoping so. Just you love to see the back and forths, right? And luckily for us, I don't have a curfew for tonight, so
Nice.
So we could go all night.
I just realized that the NGS logo that I normally have on the draft screen is kind of behind you on your shoulder there, Murda. But it's okay because we have the NGS logo right here, right over my shoulder.
Heck yeah. You'll love to see it.
So our first ban of the game is going to be Ana.
Love it. Love it as a ban. She's a scary girl, that Ana. She can deny all of that healing, you know, on a single target and sleep the rest of everyone so that they can't help said focused target. Really great ban.
It's the biggest support setup hero that's available. I mean, you have that sleep dart, and that's all you need from the support position to have enough for your team to get in place to get kills. So what other hero can do that from that role? Not a lot. So Ana's such a strong power player all throughout Season 8.
And it works out to, quite frankly, a great fruit. Right? The ban Ana?
I guess.
Oh.
And, no, it was the band Joe Ana.
Yes, yes,
and
indeed. Ana Johanna.
That's my dad joke. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
ETC going to be the next ban here from ReGen Retro.
Okay.
So quite the tank joke of the really big important tanks in the meta right now.
There's a few other ones I'm thinking about for both these teams. One of them being Garrosh here on this map, and one I was playing a bit earlier today. Big boy Stitches, I think, could make an appearance on Tomb of the Spider.
Yeah, I think he could. His slam, I've always mentioned that his slam takes up pretty much the entire turn-in area. At least, you know, the actual turn-in itself. And, you know, he can interrupt from pretty much anywhere with that big slam, so it could be.
It's also nice because you can hook somebody when they're turning in.
Yeah, that too.
It's pretty easy, and you're like, oh, gotcha. An interesting first pick. Li Ming, not often prioritized on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Obvious reason, no wave clear, right? So they're giving up a lot there, and they're showing that they want to go into the burst with their first hero selected. So this is going to signal a lot now over to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. What can they do to protect against the burst with this Li Ming showing?
Methinks Medivh. I'm thinking Medivh.
That's my first thought as well. So we may actually end up, we may actually end up seeing a ban on Medivh.
Yeah,
so this has been the meta.
Retro
I've been
likes it
watching what they're doing often in these matches. I've seen Retro do it against the last set with Dread Pirates a lot. The Varian came into play almost every single draft with the Greymane, with the Li Ming. They're trying to do the taunt, curse bullet, burst you down with Li Ming orbs.
So
I was just gonna say.
Okay, got it. Do you think that the Varian was a takeaway, perhaps?
Absolutely, and this Garrosh right now is basically the next best option.
Got it.
And you know what, Uther for that follow-up as well. It's important to note that Uther, his devotion, or devotion aura, or whatever it is, works for Garrosh. So it actually adds on top of his base trait armor.
Oh yes, it does. Sylvanas, get rid of her. Get her out of here.
Sylvanas able to provide plenty of burst. Also, a lot of wave clear that right now Retro is missing. So a pretty fine ban from them.
I like the Sylvanas ban. You know, the Uther follow-up with the Garrosh as well. I kind of wonder if we're not going to see something in addition to that, though, for one more lockdown. Maybe they go into... is this like an offlane Uther? Maybe they go into a Malfurion, and then they get another, maybe the Greymane that you mentioned earlier.
I'm thinking Greymane for sure, especially since Stukov was just taken out. Because, you know, Stukov can drop a lurking arm underneath the taunted opponent, and, you know, potentially could opt into low blow if he so chose for faster kills. But it's going to be Anduin instead of Stukov, so...
And of course, we're going to see the Lunara to go up against the Uther healing. So if you're Retro, you have to be thinking about a second support right now. You can't handle damage coming out that strong from that hero, Lunara, on the other side. Who will that second support be? They still have in their bank a very good Medivh player, but they're going to pick Maiev and Rexar. So no double support against my better judgment.
I'm actually not that surprised. I kind of get the Maiev pick. Now, Garrosh doesn't have spectacular engage, Maiev kind of makes up for that, and then Garrosh can follow up, and then Uther follows up, and that's a dead opponent. But
what about Misha? She can too.
Yeah, Misha can do that too. So I'm not super surprised by this, but in the same vein, they're gonna have to be extremely careful against this Lunara poke. So,
Well, there's our draft coming in with Leoric at the end. What do you guys think about this?
I don't know. Honestly, ReGen Faithful at home. Is this the comp? Is this the team on the other side that you want to see with your Uther healer? I think this Lunara is going to do work. Game 1, I'm going to go ahead and pick Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
Yeah, I too am going to go with Deathwing's Hookah Lounge as well. I think that we're going to be seeing a Divine Shield, actually, especially again if there's a potential Pyroblast. Go for that quick save against whoever is being targeted, or alternatively, go in for a nice engage with an invincible Maiev, or even Garrosh for that matter. So, even with that said, I do think that the Lunara poke is going to be a huge factor, and I'm going to have to give it to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge as well.
All right. Well, you can now vote in chat. Hit the drop down there, select which team you think's going to win, and then hit the vote button. We'll address that when it comes up in a few moments. But we're getting into the game here. Why don't we have Murda? Why don't you start off, and Rek, you take the other team?
Sure.
All right, over here on the left-hand side in the blue, they are the #1 seed out of Division A here in season number 8. We got Big Wiz up front on this Leoric. StarFox64 going to play the Varian. Patches on Kael'thas. As we see Blue 1442 on Anduin, and Devo playing the Deer. Make some noise for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
And on your right side, the red team, ReGen Retro, #3 in Division A. We've got Zami Bars playing Garrosh, Deltron on Uther, Meliodas going to be playing Li Ming, Aaron on Rexar, and Splash playing Maiev.
All right, well, there are your teams, ladies and gentlemen. And as is customary, we're going to go ahead and start out this best of 5 series by hanging out in the mid lane. Working on some of those quests, maybe getting that Q quest going, Silver Touch for Uther.
And the spray quest as well. A lot of spray down on the ground to say hello as these players are ready to go in, for some of them, their very first Grand Finals matchup.
Probably many of them, I would guess. So what do you think about this matchup with Leoric and Rexar here in the bot lane? Who do you think wins that in this map?
I think whoever wins it is the one who can leave their lane the most and help their team double soak.
So that probably implies the Leoric then, right? At level 4?
Yeah, I would assume. That being said, as long as Leoric can keep that bear in check, he doesn't even necessarily have to kill the bear, but get her low enough so that Aaron can spend all his mana on healing her up, he can eventually win this, I think.
Well, we're going to see the rotation here from Deathwing's Hookah Lounge onto Aaron. Nice gravity lapse here, and that's going to be first blood.
Pretty quickly done. There's no way Rexar gets out of that one. It was a big rotation. They sent the whole team down, so good on them finding that first blood. But you look at the XP bar, doesn't really matter. We're pretty deadlocked at 3 right now.
Yeah, and that was worth 350 XP, so I think that's what? That's about 1 minion wave, roughly. The stall coming out. Garrosh throwing the Varian here. Not quite enough damage between Li Ming and Maiev to get a kill there. But they definitely stall out the second turn in. So 11 to 11 on the gen count so far.
Shout out in chat to Silvara83 saying they disagree. They say Li Ming can do some wave clear, so we're going to keep our eyes here during game number 1. I think it's Meliodas playing the Li Ming for ReGen Retro. Will that wave clear work out or not?
Well, I mean, she could, as long as she angles properly, she can do a whole lot of damage to the wave. I mean, granted, she's not the first character that comes to mind when it comes to wave clear, but it exists. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, she's not really here for the wave clear, right? I mean, they've got moderate wave clear, although I definitely say that Deathwing's Hookah Lounge has the advantage in that. But
sure.
And they're going to rotate down again, it looks like, possibly. Never mind. They changed their mind.
No camps yet. We're still just laning.
So Varian's gonna double their turn-in value here from 11 now to 22 for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Just continuing the rotations in between. Lunara's using her bouncy happiness there to soak in between the lanes, keep getting those gems. And Kael'thas, and who else is that? Anduin, gonna pick up the first camp, it looks like, in the game.
Very nice. That does allow for ReGen Retro to push in a little bit and get some turn going. But I think it's only Aaron who has left to turn. So
it is, and they do have enough to turn, but recognizing that a couple members of Deathwing's Hookah Lounge are gone. Now that was a great taunt onto the Garrosh there, kept Lunara safe, at least for the moment.
Ooh, that was close. So here's the difference maker so far is I'm noticing ReGen Retro not necessarily looking to fight at all. There's been a few times you've seen the Garrosh look for those isolated tosses, but outside of that, I think they're not really wanting to fight.
No.
At least not until 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they need the 10 to help with that additional lockdown with the taunt.
Well, that's a dead Anduin. It doesn't matter. He got thrown. He can't exactly help himself without standing completely still, and there's a Maiev and an Uth. Yeah, I think he's a goner there.
But it's actually going to be DHL picking up the first web weavers in this game.
Yeah, who snuck that? Was that Lunara ran up
believe
top
it
and
was
got some,
Lunara
I
top.
think. Yeah.
So no camp to go with it. That was cleared out. And generally speaking, the first web weavers are pretty weak. We are going to see Rexar getting taunted here at the bottom right at the wall. Gonna have to go ahead and back at this point. Doesn't have enough health to do anything, but it's gonna be the bot lane with the primary pressure here for at least for a moment. Garrosh using that indomitable, unstoppable getting away from the Varian and Anduin. The father-son combo.
You really love to see that.
Top lane's
So
already cleared out. Go ahead.
The focus on this mid lane, I'm a little confused by. I mean, they are getting a lot of value here. You see helping with this Lunara picked up at level 4, has Nature's Culling. So this damage to the walls is almost instant for Lunara. But I'm surprised they didn't put the focus on the top lane. Instead, at that mid wall, they do get it down. But is that enough value for them?
I believe it is, simply because they removed that well, and since, you know, the middle lane is the central area, they're gonna have to rotate if they want to get their taps going, you know?
Well, we get the tether onto Kael'thas, but the Leaf of Faith is going to pull him out. The Arcane Orb, they're just barely missing him on the flight over. Just a moment later, and that's a dead Kael'thas and an instant reset for Li Ming as well.
Seems to me that maybe Anduin is a good hero.
Well, he definitely has some great utility. We got level 10s coming up here very soon. Looks like right now ReGen Retro just slightly ahead in this. And Aaron's going to try to get a turn in here. Leoric thought about coming in to stall, but ultimately
Did
pulled
Rexar
back.
self-cancel that?
I think he did. Garrosh there, I think. Yeah, he didn't get a bloodthirst. That was definitely a heal from
The old
Uther. And Rexar's going to try to turn in again. Has Misha, but it's not going to matter. Varian's going to be able to stall that out. Level 10's here for both teams, though. And now we're going to see, does this team comp come online for ReGen Retro? Is this where they start being aggressive?
Rek, it is the D-Shield.
Yeah. See, I had a funny feeling.
And Garrosh walking into the bush, gonna get taunted there. Gravity Lapse coming out. There's the D-Shield, throwing Varian out. Maiev coming in with the Warden's Cage, has 4. Big taunt from Garrosh, but he's going to fall. But so are so many others here, and they're not done. Meliodas now, it's gonna be a 2 for 3 so far. But Kael'thas and Varian are so low. But there's
not much else to do.
There's nothing to follow up. Misha just got back in. It was just
This is a turn.
just a little unfortunate.
This
I
is
don't know
a
that it
turn.
is. Oh wait,
No,
can Uther
because
get it?
Aaron's
Yeah.
going top and Deltron's going bottom, and they all sent all their resources top. So yeah, that's a turn.
Can they get Li Ming up in time to make any difference here during this objective, though?
I think so.
I think so,
Yeah.
make it. Okay.
Just make it. Just a
The res timers are just barely appropriate for their push here. So we did see Varian going into both Victory Rush and I believe that's Warbringer? Yeah. So that's going to give Varian more charges and also an ally disengage charge.
Ooh, great Entomb to shut down the Garrosh from finding this Anduin, but the pull from the Maiev looking for damage. They get Lunara after the leaping strikes. Now gonna taunt in this Varian. Zambibars and Starfox taunting each other off. But ultimately it just ends up being a double kill for ReGen Retro. Objective still on the map.
That's a really fantastic play for them. Now they've got this Web Weaver pushing in the bot lane. They've got a Web Weaver in mid lane that's going to get some value. But as a whole, the team is going to push up in the top lane. They have Misha to soak some of this damage, although she's getting very low. Hopefully these minions get close enough, or they just kill the tower. That works too. And it looks like bot lane's going to get that bottom fort. And Retro's going to try to disengage up here in the top lane. Maiev using that Shadow of Vengeance to get over the wall. Otherwise, a little bit of a dangerous place there.
They lost a bear in the process. Tier. Can I get a tier from everyone in chat?
Rip.
Level 13s, both teams here. Deadlock. But look at the gem counts. They're also both teams enough to cash in. Both teams trying to cash in right now. Who gets it in first? DHL.
Just barely. Retro got 43, I think, turned in right at the right before DHL. Also, we didn't actually discuss our poll results. Our vote almost entirely split 8-7 in favor of DHL.
Ooh, Light Bomb miscommunication as it only hits onto Misha. They do take her down. Phoenix comes down as well, but the rest of ReGen Retro able to back up. It's going to be a short cooldown on the bear.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it wasn't a miscommunication, more of a misclick, because Leoric had to run away. But you never know. Tall on top of Maiev, she's going to get thrown immediately out.
And the Web Weaver getting a wave going in here, going to take out the healing well. Lunara just jumping over Misha, just to get a little bit of damage and better positioning as they want to get down this mid fort. The bot lane, not going to be able to get all the way to the tower, but DHL may rotate down. Zamibar's looking for something, but ends up pulling back.
Oh, that bot fort's fallen too, Aero. No way that Retro rotates here and saves this.
No. But maybe they'll look for something afterward? No.
So far, this has been a pretty even game. We've got 5 kills to 5 kills. While it's 2 structures down on the side of Retro, they do have that top fort down to about half health, which is really valuable. But this could be a big problem. Rexar getting taunted into the Entomb. We've got the D-Shield and the throw for Uther to get out. The Warden's Cage is well for a disengage. Oh, but there's so many gems that might get left there. Splash going in, uses the Vault of the Wardens, does not make it out. They keep going, trying to get the gems. Li Ming picks him up, but at a cost of 3 heroes.
Yeah.
Big moment, big swing. It's going to give them the Bruiser Camp here. Potentially more as they are working towards their next turn in. Currently holding on to 35 gems, but it's going to be level 16 talent advantage. And look at the structural advantage as well. So that means ReGen Retro, they're backed up to their, keeps. Back behind their base wall. And if Garrosh falls here, they could lose their keep right here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great play.
I think this might be a keep. This is a full wave. Look at this with a nice, Bruiser Camp, and God, there's so much stuff going on. Oh, that's an Entomb on top of Rexara with enough gravity lapse to follow it up. And Splash is going to go ahead and try to tether some people in the back. Dies for it. Meliodas attempting to finish people off. It's going to get life bombed, and there's 35 gems just gone.
They went for that last chance fight, but might have just cost ReGen Retro game number 1 as Deathwing's Hookah Lounge approaches their core.
Garrosh is back on the map, looking to get in onto the Anduin, gets the taunt, but there's not enough damage to follow it up with the Uther and Rexar there. slowing things down is the best they can do, but Lunara jumping over the core, getting that Nature's Culling value right here. Everybody falling low, but the stun on to Kael'thas there, not going to be enough, as the core is going to go down soon. Game number 1 going over to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. The 53-47 split in chat. Gonna take the first game. Chat's getting it right tonight so far.
Yeah, I mean they're 1 for 1.
It's 100% of the votes.
Yeah.
So let's look at this game. Who's our game 1 MVP? I think you maybe want to think about giving it to Star Fox. Just playing that Varian, didn't fall once in the game and did set up quite a few kills for his team.
I agree with that. I was going to say the same thing, more or less. The taunts were always on point, and I got to give it to Devo too for always following up. And it just it seemed like even Garrosh with all that armor always had a brown health bar of dot damage, So I kind of want to give it to Variant or Star Fox 64, but a close an honorable mention Devo on Lunara.
Absolutely.
I have to say, first of all, I do agree with you guys, but, those plays get started by Varian, they get followed up by Blue 1442 with a Chastise or the Gravity Lapse from Kael'thas. Without that follow-up, the Lunara probably dies if she tries to go in and jump over the Garrosh. The Gravity Lapse, the Chastise, every single time they were right on point to make sure that whoever they were targeting was dead.
Absolutely incredible.
All right, so
Unbelievable.
how do you guys feel about a quick break? Because I've got some new commercials.
Oh, go right ahead.
Do it. I gotta go get some water anyway, so that worked.
All right, great. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. So, again, for our maps here, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge picked and won game number 1 there on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 2 here is going to be on Infernal Shrines, also selected by Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Let's get into this draft. So what do you guys think that we'll see different from these two teams?
So of the maps that are left, this one will play the most like the one we just saw, Tomb of the Spider Queen. The maps are kind of close, bot and mid, as they are top and mid on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So similar wave clear thoughts here during the draft should be considered.
So Malfurion, the first ban, and that's an interesting ban right out of the gate. Like, what is it about Malfurion that you don't want to deal with? Is it you maybe want to go for a dive comp? Is that what you're looking at?
I'm kind of confused too.
I think that the Medivh ban is in response to that, because Medivh would enable that, and of course Malfurion would just be like, "Hey, root."
I kind of see that now.
But we're going back into the Johanna ban, but it's the other side banning out Johanna, and there goes the Deathwing once again.
Ooh. Yeah, Monkus not going to be too happy in chat, but does mean Kael'thas is available for ReGen Retro, which was played in game number 1 by Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
Okay.
And Splash picking up that hero. Splash was the Maiev last game. We'll see if that switches around at all. And there's the Ana that was banned out in game 1 as well. So ultimately, ReGen Retro saying, you know what, that's fine. We'll let you have the Ana. It's more, the Malfurion is more threatening to what we want to do.
I think they go right back into the Garrosh here. I think Zammy likes it. Maybe it's the ETC. Okay, they banned this out in game 1.
They did. Yeah.
Again.
I'm honestly curious why they want the ETC over the Garrosh, because if ETC gets taunted and he doesn't have an ability stack to get that armor, he's gonna die. Whereas Garrosh, when he falls low on armor, he gets falls low on health, he gets passive armor. Should be able to survive more of those burst attempts from the variant, but ETC is the pick.
So, for what it's worth, they do have the Uther, and Uther can supplement the ETC armor. It kind of gives him, in a way, a permanent 25 armor, essentially.
Perhaps, but let's go on the reverse side. You're not healing a taunted target with an Ana on the opposing team. You just aren't.
True. And it's going to be Jaina, the third and final ban, along with the Sylvanas or Deathwing's Hookah Lounge there. So Ana follows up really well with the Varian taunt as well. It means that they get that healing grenade, which is what you were just alluding to. Ana can also hit the sleep onto a mosh pit. She can sleep other heroes to prevent them from engaging. Pretty solid pickup, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
So game 1, we saw it. Uther heals up against Lunara damage. We're going to get it again here in game number 2. Do they switch it up? Do they go double support this time? Of course, they'll have EDC with the option to give some supporting at level 1. But do they want a true second support?
Do they maybe take something like a Zarya?
I could see a Zarya. Yeah, I could see that working out. Okay.
Okay, Toronto works.
Yep, that definitely works.
And that helps to follow up. They now have a pretty strong CC chain. They've got the Power Slide, the Gravity Lapse, the Hammer of Justice. They've got the Lunar Flare. They can keep somebody locked down a really long time.
D-Shield, Tormented Souls, anyone?
Yeah, maybe. If not D-Shield Mosh, the old divine holy cow, as they call it. But
I mean, this pick might make sense why Malfurion was banned to start off the draft. If they thought that Deathwing's Hookah Lounge was going into his stitches from the start of this draft, I don't hate the Malfurion ban.
Yeah, actually, potentially. And I kind of agree with Aero's follow-up statement from before with the Medivh also as a response to that. Like, this is good. I like that.
So, Aero, I don't know if you're going to ask us who we think this time, but...
I am. I'm typing it in right now.
I was pretty sure about game number 1, and Rek and I were both correct in picking Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. I think ReGen Retro has made enough of a change to this draft that I think they have the edge here in game number 2.
You know, I'm definitely stuck. I'm going to still say, excuse me, DHL, just because, I mean, there is a lot of self-healing that comes from ReGen Retro, so that's really nice for them. Excuse me, but I really think that Ana is just that good. I think that this comp with the total lockdown variants, messages, Ana lockdown, blow this person up, is going to be a factor. However, they are missing the same burst that they had from last game, so I'm really stuck. But I'll say DHL. All right. DHL.
Well, let's get our teams introduced. Take it away.
Over here on the left-hand side, your number 1 seed in Division A, we got Devo playing the bird, patches on the deer once again, blue 1442. Gonna be playing Ana. Big Wiz on the variant for the second game, and picking up the big boy who just wants to play. It's gonna be Stitches, played by StarFox64. Make some noise for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
And on the right side, the red team, Zamibar is going to be playing ETC. Deltron and Tyrande, that's a dead Falstad before we continue. But Aaron on Malthael, Splash on Kilthos, and Meliodas on Uther. That's the number 3 seed, ReGen Retro.
And that was a great start combo. We're seeing it immediately again. The Power Slide, the Gravity Lapse, and the Lunar Flare. 2 kills already, 38 seconds into this game, guys.
Whew.
Retro's got to be pumped up after a less than ideal game number 1 from their standard, coming off to a very quick start. Another great follow-up from Deltron on this Tyrande. Now look at Uther getting in the mix with that Hammer of Justice. Star Fox getting shoved all over the place, but so much health on Stitches.
Yeah, that, what's it called? Patchwork Creation? Yeah, at level 1, along with an Ana grenade and Ana healing to help him out. He does not go down easily.
So chat coming in with the votes 4-3 in favor of ReGen Retro this time.
Setting up for the potential invade. There's the power slide on Ana. Another lunar flare. Helping hand hook. Not going to save the day that time. Third kill of the game for ReGen Retro. We're just 90 seconds in.
And let's highlight that, because as you said, that was a helping hand opportunity, looking to help Ana get out. But Zamibar's in great position to make sure that that wasn't happening. The hook landing instead on ETC. Varian going to be caught here, trying to juke around, but there are just so many CCs, so many ways to follow this up. And you know what? That it has been so fantastic so far in all of these kills, all 4 of them. We haven't seen a single overlap. We haven't seen an Uther stun with a gravity lapse at the same time, right? They've been communicating those stuns perfectly so far.
Monkus Beaver in chat asking, why are they fighting pre-4? I think we're all asking that question to ourselves right now, but there is level 4 for Varian, and Big Wiz going with the taunt once again.
Uh-huh. Now, Aero, I want to ask you something. Do you like Overpower or Lion's Maw with taunt?
It depends. It depends on who we're fighting against, right? Because against a team like this, I don't often take the Overpower, just because of the fact that I'm not often going to get a lot of auto attacks on me, right? I want to go into the Lion's Fang, because that's going to help me, for one, provide more damage, but also a 50% slow that doesn't slowly disintegrate.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
Sure. I tend to go back and forth as well. I think Lion's Fang is more fun, you know, get those dings. And it's a little more damage.
Oh, man, that hook! If that was any closer, Malthael would have gotten a shave.
Yeah.
And we see here the movement pings being called. Level 4 for both teams, coming up on 7 here for ReGen Retro very soon. And the hook going out, blind hook. But 8 to 9 already.
He was a cheeky blind hook that almost worked out, but not quite. Almost isn't good enough when it comes to stitches.
Well, we see the taunt with the grenade.
From Ana.
Yes. That was a good grenade and follow-up from Ana as well, but unfortunately not quite enough to get Uther down. He's going to have to tap, though.
All the while, Bruiser Camp still pushing top lane for ReGen Retro, re-engaging in. Now here comes ETC. Zamibar's power slide on 2. Follow-up stun on Varian. That's a big pickup for Retro.
Excellently done. Starfox 64 in a bit of a pickle here. He's got nice and body blocked. He's going to go ahead and die. They're looking for more, though. Zamibar's gets a nice stun on top of Patches, but he's going to go ahead and leave.
And, you know, this feels 100% different than the last game. Or I guess I should say it feels the same, but in the other direction. We had Varian picking up taunts with the follow-up CC and just obliterating people. And the CC chain has been so fantastic. Now, we'll have to see how that changes at level 13 when we get smelling salts, right?
Aero, I'm just going to put this out there. Call me crazy if you want, but who was on DHL in game number 1 and who's on ReGen Retro in game number 2? It's the Kael'thas. Is that the difference maker here?
It's certainly been helpful, but I think Deltron's been following up with the stuns more than Kael'thas. I think Kael'thas has provided, you know, certainly some good stun follow-up, but it's primarily been the Tyrande. Which, considering she's also got her quest, makes a lot of sense, right? You want to be landing those lunar flares. She also has a longer range than Kael'thas. Kael'thas went into that level 4 Gravity Lapse Energy Royal, so he's got the reduced mana cost, but it also reduces the cooldown if he hits a hero.
Yeah.
So if I'm DHL at this point in the game, you're down currently in XP quarter level or so, not a huge deal. You're really only a kill or 2 away from tying this game up. You have this global Falstead. So far, we've been seeing a lot of it playing down in the bottom lane. I'd love to see them utilize the flight, find a pick on the Malthael in this top lane. Some sort of gank attempt with that flight, I think, is probably what they should start looking for, but they're going to play it old school and just look for the taunts. Excuse me, the hooks.
And it is kind of interesting to see the Varian chasing around with the Malthael. Malthael, of course, having the faster movement speed on his horse with On a Pale Horse. And level 10's coming up here very soon for ReGen Retro. They're going to head down into the bot lane. Not entirely sure what they're doing. Looks like they're kind of just taking a tour of the zone, checking out what's going on here. Falstad continuing in the bot lane. Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, they're trying to find anything they can right now before the 10 advantage is gone, and DHL wisely not giving them an inch. So here we go, even at 10.
At a certain point, I think that, you know, yeah, you want to look for that fight, but also, what did they get out of that minute of time? They got nothing. So really, if they had just said, you know what, we're in the bot lane, let's push this in, get some value, they could have gotten a lot more.
Uh-oh. A hook onto Aaron, but he's going to go ahead and get out immediately because he's Malveil. But uh-oh, what's this? A big Divine Storm missing. Big whiff, and you know, that Pyroblast not doing too much.
A Pyroblast on Infernal Shrines. No Phoenix. Hard disagree or soft disagree?
I mean, it's for the Ana, I guess?
I guess.
It's definitely not for Varian.
It's not for Varian.
Sure. It's probably not for Lunara, because she's got that greater spell shield.
I mean, maybe, because she could also take Abolish Magic, which is going to be potentially really helpful against this team, right? Because not only does it cleanse those magic effects, those stuns, I guess they're all stuns, but it also reduces CCs by 50% for 2 seconds.
Doesn't it remove dot damage too?
It does. It does, yeah.
They only have what? Oh, they have 2. They have Malveil.
Well, they're looking for Varian. The taunt going out on ETC. Lunar Flare missing, I think. There's the last rites, but the Protect coming out, shield wall being used. And Varian not the target.
I don't even think the Protect worked there. I think it actually made it past the Protect, but it just wasn't enough percent taken off yet.
I think
he was pretty low.
No, he had just used it, and I think that Aaron knew that, so he had to get the last rites out sooner rather than later. You know, because otherwise it would have been protected anyway. But I don't know.
Falstad pressure bottom lane, might want to highlight that, saving onto Flight. Looks like they're going to give up this second objective of the game for ReGen Retro, but do they get enough value in the bottom lane to make it worth it? Perhaps. I mean, you look at him down here, he's got that W build with Bribe, so he's getting a little bit of extra siege damage in.
I think that he can. It's only Malveil here to take care of it, and it's, yeah, that's going to be a Lunara and Varian coming down to help out. They can get Aaron for sure.
Yeah, he stayed way too long. Even just the Falstad there looked like he probably could have taken him out. They're going to get the bot lane now, and but top is going to go over in favor of ReGen Retro with the Punisher. So both teams taking out a fort, and it looks like we're going to see DHL coming back, and it is that Abolish Magic. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Greater Spell Shield. Derp.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Scout from Tyrande does land on Falstad as he's taking that camp, and look at Falstad backing out. So a huge scout there by Tyrande.
I love that ability, Sentinel. It's so fun. You can tell where anyone is, and a lot of people just seem to forget that there is a trail that is left behind.
So that's going to give Retro the opportunity now to clear up that mid lane. A little bit of damage, not much, onto the towers. They're going to get some XP. And it looks like they might be looking to set up a bush gank here. Possibly. Lunara using that Wisp, so she's going to make sure that they're safe and checking out where the rest of the team is.
It's a battle of vision control between Tyrande and Lunara right now. Who's winning? Probably Tyrande? Maybe? I don't know. It's close. I think both are doing a great job with the vision control.
Well, we do see there they call out the ping on the Sentinel Wisp. And keep in mind, of course, Sentinel Wisp, once it's in that bush for 5 seconds, it reveals a huge area. So ETC, the rest of the team there, were looking to set up in that bush. ETC getting the long-range fishing hook. And Lunara doing the bounce, the mosh pit coming out, the gust interrupting it. Is it enough to keep ETC alive? Has that anti-healing?
Oh boy.
That was a lot of ultimates for no kills.
Yeah.
Maybe advantage for Retro, though. They hold on to Last Rites and Pyroblast, as well as that Divine Storm. On the other side, it's Leaping Strikes, Taunt, and the Nano Boost for Ana.
Well, no, not Nano Boost. Oh, you mean that's still up? My bad.
So I'm interested to see. So right now, never mind. We'll come back to this. ETC is going to get the Power Slide on Varian, just basically as a, hey, I'm here. Gonna get the double stun follow up, but here comes Pyroblast. It's gonna be negated by that shield wall. And yeah, so what I was gonna mention about was that greater spell shield. You know, if you're playing Lunara, the greater. Oh, okay, fine. We're gonna get the taunt onto ETC. Lunar Flare coming out, not gonna hit though. All right, guys, just give me a second. Like, let me talk.
Talk about greater spell. Go ahead, right now.
So greater spell shield, right? So Lunara right now it's on cooldown. Why is it on cooldown? She took some damage from some random effect, right? But the whole point of her taking it is to counter the pyro. So you've got to shut it off. Oh, what a hook! Just barely off though, and the cleanse coming out.
Yeah, if Star Fox was just like a fraction of an inch further back, then ETC goes over the wall. But in that case, he doesn't, means ReGen Retro, even down the talent tier, able to invade the DHL siege camp and take it away.
And
opting for their own bruiser camp.
Look at Lunara's Wisp, though. Gonna reveal it.
Uh-oh, yeah. They're looking. They know that ReGen Retro, half the team is bottom, too. They were looking for an, a nice hook. Aaron's gonna maybe fall, I think so. Gonna be a gust going, push them into the corner, but no, Aaron's actually going to live. That Tyrant healing coming out nice and clutch, and a whole bunch of heroics going out from DHL, but they get themselves a bruiser camp.
So, like I said, Vision Control is the name of this game number 2, and that time Lunara with the advantage, able to walk in and help invade away a camp, just as Toronto was able to do earlier, but that one's very big. It's a bruiser camp during an objective, and you see Retro, they're all the way back at base, not even trying for...
No. You know, they were showing too many people bottom, and I think that was just as, you know, an easy invade, in my opinion, so...
Well, we're seeing a lot of value out of this Smelling Salts. The taunt going to go out onto ETC, is going to get the unstoppable Lunara, trying to keep things moving. Aaron getting pretty low. Last Right's going out, not quite enough to get the Lunara, though. Zamibar's getting really low with this dot damage. Is probably going to fall. There it goes. Varian going to get the kill and the disengage from Falstad with that Gust of Wind.
Great gust.
So yeah, once again, the Smelling Salts, you know, that's not just a stun cleanse, it's also 50 armor for 2 seconds. And all of the CC that we have coming out from ReGen Retro is a stun. So you get started and you're screwed.
Asking how many bribe stacks does Falstad have, currently sitting at 45% bonus damage on that lightning rod, and holding on to 1 of the 4 stacks currently. I think just used a few to get that bruiser camp up top.
Mortar Punisher going to get baited over the wall. Oh, the hook onto Kael'thas. The taunt, the leaping strikes coming out. Tyrande trying to keep Splash alive. It is so much damage. But Kael'thas just doesn't have the health bar that they need. And this could end up being the keep here. Malthael going down thanks to that Punisher stun. And that's a long time for their DPS to be dead. This looks very similar to what happened in game number 1.
I think it's the same story. I think this is it. DHL gonna walk on into the core, and they have a 2-level lead at this moment. 15 minutes and 30 seconds in. Can they close it out once again using this Lunara and this Nature's Calling?
Well, it's going to be 30% dot damage taken away, and that's going to be game number 2 going over to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
GG.
GG.
So boys, a bit different of a game. Started with ReGen Retro looking really good, up 6-0 in kills. From that point on, not netting 1 more for the rest of the game. And they drop it there in just about 16 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I know it's not an end-all be-all, but like the Pyroblast is a little strange, like you said, Murda. And I don't know, I feel like they kind of just ReGen Retro sort of started to stagger a bit towards the middle and end of that game, and I think that DHL just found themselves some stride halfway through. So.
Well,
all right,
big hill to climb from here for ReGen Retro.
But you know what they say, you can't start a reverse sweep unless you're down 2-0.
There you go. They do say that.
Do people say that?
Do they? I think they do.
I guess they do. Technically.
Rec, who's your game 2 MVP? Who do you got to give it to that time?
That's a tough one because I think everyone did pretty well, but I'll give it to Blue 1442. And it's simply because of the smelling salts, right? I think as soon as they hit 13, how about that? That seemed to be a big swing. They can cleanse the stuns, give 50 armor, and that's pretty much, like Aero said, the only CC outside of slows, the only hard CC that ReGen Retro had was stuns, which granted they had a lot, but 50 armor is 50 armor.
I got to give my MVP to Patches. I thought the Lunara play specifically with the Wisp helped them win that game. The late game move over to that Bruiser camp really did help set up that final objective in the win.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, it seems to be Lunara is the thorn in their side.
Oh God! All right. Well, guys, let's go ahead and take a couple minutes because I got more commercials I can't wait to show.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. We're going into game number 3. DHL currently up 2-0. Let's take a quick look at the maps here as the third game is all set up and ready to go. We're going to be going to Towers of Doom. And it looks like
Towers of Doom. I want to say one thing, because Kiramu or Chiramu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm sorry, said pre-cleansing hooks are a bit hard. They are, but one time I did it, and it was the greatest day of my life. I literally, I was on white main, I went, the new skin looks dumb. I cleansed the hook, I said, I'm buying the new skin.
there you go.
Thank goodness for Samuro bans, am I right, boys?
And Retro looking at the Varian, who has been an option twice now for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Not looking at banning the Lunara, is chat calling for it, but gonna leave her available. Is it a mistake?
I think without the Varian, it's gonna make it a lot harder for Lunara to fill that role.
Ooh, perfect first pick. This has been the hero that they're fighting for, is the Ana.
So I do want to mention, everybody, so we're actually doing the stream in a widescreen format. Get a little bit more aspect ratio, gives you more map presence that you can see on the screen. Obviously, if you're watching on a phone or something, I get it, it's not quite as good. But come watch it later on your PC. Also, we're streaming in 720 instead of 1080 just because of the fact that it means that the audience is a little bit broader. People on their phones or what have you, don't you even have phones, can have the opportunity to watch live. So guys, what do you think of this draft so far?
Hanzo, interesting. Splash, known for playing this hero quite well. We'll give them opportunity to poke away some of these altars. The Johanna, first we've seen of her tonight, she's been banned out a few times. Interesting to see how Zami will do at that, but you see they're moving away from their strategy of bursting down heroes. I don't think they're going for it quite the same here with the Hanzo. I guess it depends on what Meliodas is going to pick for that second DPS, but I'm not expecting the same sort of dive in your face burst that Retro's been trying tonight.
No. And Hanzo's got tons of poke. Ling Ming's got tons of poke. I think Ling Ming is a little bit better poke because she does a little bit more damage than Hanzo. A little bit. But what?
Is this what I think it might be?
Is it Cho'Gall with the Anubrag ban? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Oh.
They have the Ana.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's actually I could see.
It could be an
Deathwing.
off-lane Johanna. I've personally been skeptical of it, but
I'm gonna say no. They don't. I don't think they do.
It's a little weird.
I mean, this is if they lose this map, their season ends. Do they want to risk it with a Cho'Gall? I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
Munkus agrees.
Maybe.
Munkus thinks it's Cho'Gall. It is not.
Oh, I kind of wanted it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this would be so much fun."
Yeah, I don't think so either. Actually, though, let's be honest.
But it is going to be on a Malthael, and that's a pretty
that's a
solid
fun one.
combo.
And they're gonna get the Force of Wills to help Malthael sustain longer. I thought maybe last game we'd end up seeing the Tormented Souls. This time, a bit more of a case, perhaps.
Uh-oh. Guess what, everybody? It's time to join the Legion.
It's Mal'Ganis.
I will tell you this: Mal'Ganis has been giving ReGen Retro some issues. Very tough hero to play against at times. It sleeps here on Towers of Doom. Can be pretty effective, especially around those camps, bot lane, the Sapper camps. If Mal'Ganis can get in there and disrupt those fights with a big 3-4 man sleep in that choke point, there's not enough shields from Medivh or heals from Ana to really save anyone from that. I think I got to give my pick over here 3-0 for Deathwing Hookah Lounge after this draft.
Breck, what do you think?
Okay. I think the area control and general poke from DHL is much better, but I think post 10, that's a very terrifying ReGen Retro. I'm gonna give it to ReGen Retro on this one, because someone has to be wrong.
All right, let's kick it off here on the left-hand side in the blue. Once again, they are your number 1 seed out of Division A. It's blue, 1442 up front on the Stukov. Devo gonna play the Falstead once again. It'll be Patches on the Leeming, Star Fox 64 on the Mal'Ganis, and Big Wiz playing the ETC. Ladies and gentlemen, they are Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
And on the right side, the number 3 seed, hopefully looking to come back now with a 3-2 potentially. It's ReGen Retro. Zami Bar is going to be playing Johanna, Deltron on Ana, Meliodas going to be playing Hanzo, Aaron playing Malthael, and Splash playing Medivh.
Thank you so much.
Someone had to say it.
All right. Well, this is game number 3. It's potentially the last game for ReGen Retro in Season 8. So they've got to really put everything out here and make it work. This is the time.
And hey, if you're Deathwing's Hookah Lounge and you've been playing all these seasons, we mentioned Luxorian Sun, Luxorian Snake. They've been around the block here in NGS. A win tonight would mean the world to these guys, and a 3-0 would feel even better. So I'm expecting some big fights here in Game 3. Can ReGen Retro hold them off?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, ReGen Retro's been known for their Medivh play, especially last season, and I think Season 6 as well, but this is a little bit different of a team setup. So I'm interested to see, can the Medivh provide them enough to make this happen? In the regular season, again, they did play Towers of Doom, and it was DHL that won here. Short range portal there, just enough to keep Johanna out of danger.
Have you ever done the spook portal where like Medivh will pretend I'm Medivh here? I just throw a portal down just to spook the camp takers, and then they go, oh, are they coming? And then no one comes. It never works, but it's funny.
Uh-oh, Malthael.
Big silence coming out underneath him. He's gonna go ahead and go bye-bye.
Yeah, and DHL doesn't have as much of a CC chain as they've had earlier, but if you've got a power slide and you've got the silence with Stukov, that might just be enough. Especially if he started off with a Night Rush out of Mal'Ganis, putting people to sleep.
Huh. Take a look at this. Fetid Touch. I've always liked that talent. Now, granted, if you don't get at least 15 stacks on it, kind of, you never have a level 1. But I do like it. I gave Reactive Ballista Spores a try recently because I had never tried it before, and I liked that too. Because, I don't know, I haven't played Stukov in a while, and apparently Reactive Ballista Spores is, like, the talent now. But I'm really liking this Fetid Touch pickup. It makes me feel better.
All right, well, we've got Triple Altar coming up here. Malthael and Falstad going to pick up the top. Mal'Ganis still in the mid, though, so this is technically an advantage, ReGen Retro. The portal coming in, Johanna's going to go in. Medivh's going to go ahead and get out of there.
Uh-oh. There's a little bit of a slumber party with Zamy Bars in blue, but Big Wiz has taken tons of poke damage from this Hanzo that I mentioned before. And actually, Mal'Ganis is going to go ahead and do his little triple combo onto a couple of people, and here we go. It's the 5v5 that we've been waiting for.
Big damage.
Up Zamy Bars again, but he gets protected. He's going to go ahead and maybe make it out. Yes. No. I lied.
Ooh.
And
That'll
Liming's
be second altar there for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Go ahead about Liming.
Liming's a great pick on this map because you always know where those heroes are that are channeling. It's unlike the Tomb of the Spider Queen where you don't have vision of those turn-in points. Here, you do. And so Li Ming can interrupt a channel from long range and do massive damage because she's doing it at long range.
So Retro yet to break the DHL code all season long. We talked about the 2-0 early in the season. DHL walking away victors there. And tonight already, obviously, being up 2-0. DHL hasn't dropped a map yet all season to this number 3 ReGen Retro team. Will they be able to find that solution? They're already down 2-0 in kills, so they have to start picking up the pace here in this game 3.
And DHL currently up almost a full level as they're going to get onto their siege camp once again. It's going to be scouted out, but this is still a 4v4. Johanna getting booped away from the portal, but she's going to go ahead and make it through the second time. And now with Malthael here, this is a 5-on-4, but Falstad's not far away. Aaron's trying to get work done onto Star Fox here, going to get put to sleep, and might just get that kill. There you go.
Good work by Aaron, playing the Malthael, sticking on top of that Mal'Ganis, and credit as well, Deltron had a few grenades in that action, helped reduce the healing of Mal'Ganis, and it was enough from Malthael to finish off that first kill of the game for ReGen Retro. They were down a full level. Now look how close it is, about a quarter level.
Very close, and both teams look like they'll be picking up their altars. DHL coming in is looking for that Malthael there, as the majority of the team was showing elsewhere for ReGen Retro. A couple in the bottom lane to clear out that sapper camp. And getting that long pitch out of... what a great sleep dart there onto the Mal'Ganis, making sure that they can pick up the sapper camp. However, Johanna not in a great place here. Zamy Bars might be falling.
I don't know. There was an there it is. Yeah, probably doesn't have Unstoppable up yet, but all those protects and the healing from Deltron kind of delayed that, you know?
Yeah, good force of will from Medivh in that play.
So we got Falstad top, ETC mid, getting that pressure. So an uneven fight in favor of ReGen Retro if they can make something work out of it. But I don't know that the Hanzo and Medivh is enough damage to really get anywhere. So they're having to kind of just keep with the rotations as opposed to the 3-1-1 we've got out of DHL.
Yeah.
The big jukes coming out from Johanna saying that I'm not going to take that arcane orb.
As they say, sidestep God.
Double altar phase, 25 seconds, gents. Level 10s, both teams. Anything out of the ordinary? Not really, but it will be Last Rites, not the Tormented Souls, and it will be Sheep picked up by Medivh. You see it being played there, bottom lane onto Li Ming, but she's able to blink away and will survive.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for the Tormented Souls as well, but... oh well.
Stage dive for ETC out of the solo lane too.
Yeah, I kind of understand. You've got the Mighty Gust, you've got the Flailing Swipe, so two different ways to basically just negate two ults if you go into that. So I think that the Nano Boost with Last Rites is the right call. But Falstad's going to pick up the mid lane there for free. And we'll see if they are able to pick up anything here. The silence going out onto Malthael. The Gust keeping him locked down in it.
Ooh. Great Gust.
Big Hanzo arrow there. Not quite able to get any follow-up, though, as Malthael was taken out. Not even able to take the portal. Sleep Dart was looking for the ETC as he was chasing down Johanna. Now the stage dive coming out, but the Blessed Shield's going to keep Hanzo safe. Meliodas jumping over the wall. And another 4 points going over to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
That's a big lead after getting 2 of the first 3 objectives. They do pick up 2 of 2 there on the third set. And that's enough for a 12-point lead and now a potential invade. You see this Mal'Ganis. I talked about this Mal'Ganis pregame, specifically in this spot and how much of a threat he can be. So hard to shut down because the moment you walk up, he's got the Fell Claws and he's got that sleep. You just really can't walk through these chokes.
Well, Universe going to be looking for something, though, and the portal going out to maybe potentially go through again, but nothing doing.
Really, the main thing it's going to allow them to do is clean up the siege camp before it actually becomes a problem. That said, ETC coming up to just to flex a little bit, show a little bit of that face melt action. So last game there was a huge level 13 power spike for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge with the smelling salts. Does either team have that in 13 or 16 coming up here that gives them a big advantage?
Well, question mark on Glass Cannon for Leeming. I think it will be the option here, just looking at the build.
You think? I think it'll be Illusionist.
I don't know. I would say Illusionist.
You don't typically go into... I'm not saying never, but...
Okay,
yeah.
all right. No, you're right. She did. Illusionist.
Yeah, Glass Cannon with Calamity is pretty much a death sentence.
I don't know. It could be funny, though. If it works, I mean, not if it doesn't.
Sure, yeah. There goes the Blessed Shield onto the front line, and Stukov here. The sleep coming out into the back. Malthael has the Nano Boost, looking for the Last Rites. Didn't quite get it, and it's going to be Hanzo falling. Stage Dive coming out, looking for the Aaron, the Malthael there. The Long Range Orb's going to hit, but just barely kept alive by Ana.
Wow.
Yeah, Hanzo was trying to find that natural agility over the wall and get the angle for it, but the way he had to walk was not the best spot. Ended up getting caught in between a few blue shirts. 4th kill of the game for DHL, and now a 16-shot lead, double the core health right now for the #1 seed.
Yeah, Monk is saying I don't think you can use portals when you're silenced. I'm pretty sure you can, because it's not an activated ability, it's just a movement, so I'm pretty sure that's possible.
I think you can as well, but I don't know for certain. I don't usually play with Medivhs, so...
Ooh. Short range arrow from Hanzo. We might have missed there on stream. It didn't set up much, and now without that bottom fort, without one of their key heroics, Retro gonna try to just smash back into this thing, but it's gonna be really tough for them to do. Really just having that Hanzo and Medivh to do it, I don't even know if it's possible, guys.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot for Retro to lose that bottom tower. And they don't have significant wave clear. They don't have significant single target tower damage. You know, the only thing they've got is the long range poke from Hanzo every 8 or so seconds. And the siege camp's coming in here too now. That's potentially 3 points, but worse than that is now this is a triple altar phase. ReGen Retro could potentially lose the entire game if any of these sappers gets through and they lose all 3 of the altars.
Well, looks like they're going to give up pushing these in, but with Falstad up top, the rest of the team controlling this bottom lane, it's going to be tough for Retro to walk through the siege camp to get over to this bottom altar, but looks like they've been given the space to do just that.
Well, they also do have the Medivh, so they could portal through it. There's the great Hanzo arrow, the dragon arrow here. Hanzo's going to use that agility to jump over the wall. Mal'Ganis looking for him. We'll come back to that, though, as Stage Dive looking for the Yana is going to get on top. Going to power slide over the Medivh as Hanzo falling to the Mal'Ganis above. Medivh trying to make use of that portal to get away, doing a little bit of juke action here. But Patch is getting so low. Johanna gets the nano boost. But Patch is going to make it away.
Oh my goodness.
So 5-3 on points out of the altars so far here. Looks like another 5 possibly going over to Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. That's going to bring it down to 6 on the core of ReGen Retro. They're down a talent tier. And 3 more sappers coming in. What do you guys think?
Well, if being down 2 games wasn't enough of a hill to climb, now you have to come back on Towers of Doom, down 23 shots, down 16 talents, and down 4 kills here in game number 3. Is it even possible from this point? Sapper's approaching the bottom line.
I think it's possible. Is it hard? Yes, but I think it's still doable.
That's 3.
Well.
That's 3.
Uh-oh.
And now this is super dangerous for Retro. A boss ends the game, any altar ends the game, or if they lose enough people, even a 6-cap could end the game.
Another Hanzo arrow coming out, but only lands onto ETC. Uh-oh, wait, here's a shield coming out too. It's going to stun a couple of people, but again, nothing doing. DHL not giving ReGen Retro the fights that they want.
I feel like a lot of the ultimates that we've seen used out of Retro here have been kind of just thrown out in with a hope and a prayer, right? They're just hoping they get somebody, and sometimes they do, but often there's nothing there for them to follow up with. And this could be a little bit of what you're talking about there, Murda, with such a steep hill to climb. The nerves are getting frayed.
Oh, they need this kill right here. They need this kill, and they get it. That keeps them alive for now, but look at the boss.
No, yeah.
Starting it up, Falstead, Mal'Ganis on it, already at 75%. Someone has to get up here quickly. Do they even recognize this is happening?
They do.
Seems like they might. 20% now.
I don't think they get there in time. No,
and
that's
there's a Mighty Gust and a Stage Dive. And that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen,
go for it. You got
your
it.
Division A champions, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. And what a name.
Unbelievable set. Unbelievable season for these fellas, coming out in the #1 spot. And getting the 3-0 here in the grand finals is the cherry on top for Deathwing's Hookah Lounge.
You know, the only way that this could have been better for them is if the season ended and we were playing the game on April 20th.
Oh, I suppose.
Well, we got like a month and a half of that.
That would be a long time to delay the playoffs.
Wow, that was quick. A lot faster than I thought on Towers of Doom. At least what I thought it would end up being. 5-2 on kills. Didn't need a lot, but they got all the core shots they needed. They got the point on the board and a 3-0 victory. Guys, who's your Game 3 MVP? And maybe who's your MVP overall for tonight?
Let's see. In this one, I don't know. That's actually tough. Maybe Patches. But I kind of liked the whole Hookah Lounge team.
That was a team effort. It was.
That was a team effort, straight up. I can't give it to any one person. But overall, again, no, I honestly just can't. Like, everyone just did a great job.
I don't think I can either.
Yeah, no, they all did great, and I kind of, if I had to pick someone, maybe Devo. Just straight up, just go Devo.
I tell you what, the drafting tonight was on point, so credit there. I think that was Big Wiz with the crown this evening. Huge credit. Grabbing this fall set in games 2 and 3 worked out. And then, you know, they played back and forth with that Kael'thas games 1 and 2, and they held on to that variant a couple times. They had a game plan. They came out, they executed it, and it didn't look like they had even one flaw in their armor tonight.
Yeah, other than that, the beginning of game number 2, where things looked a little bit challenging for them.
But they stepped right back. They were, like I mentioned, down that 6-0 start. Didn't lose one more hero from that point on.
All right.
Chat
well,
saying Devo MVP, Big Wiz MVP.
Yeah.
So a little split there as well.
Yeah, like I said, I'd like to Devo's play a lot tonight, so I'll give it to Devo for the evening. But it's not, but it's very close.
all right. Well, let's go ahead and hop over to the NGS lobby so we can get an interview. We're gonna do a whole team interview. It's the it's the finals. Let's give them a chance.
Awesome.
Show.
I will meet you guys over there.
Only took us
All
like
right.
3, 4, 5 seasons.
Well, congratulations. We are joined here by Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Welcome, everybody. And yeah, I mean, congrats. How you guys feeling after that?
Ecstatic.
So let's start off with the captain here. So you guys, we talked a lot about your guys' drafting. We talked a lot about your combinations, your communication. We hit a little bit on the interview stuff that you guys had. Of course, we didn't have a ton of time to really go through too much of it, but we did cover it. So what was your key to victory tonight? What was if there was one thing that you had to say was everything went perfectly because of this, what was that?
Oh, definitely the drafting was very. We got everything we wanted each draft, and map pick helped, and I just kept saying, keep pressing the buttons, good. So that was the plan. Anyone
they
else?
certainly were pressed. You know what was impressive tonight? While you're talking about the drafting, you guys banned out Deathwing all 3 games. Chat wanted it. Of course, your namesake, Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. He doesn't make the appearance, but I think a smart ban throughout the set because you guys set the tempo from the solo lane, able to use the ETC in game 3 and utilize that fall set as well so much. Is that part of your game plan?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Devo, we don't even have to communicate it. Like if when it's his turn to soak, he goes and does it. When it's my turn to soak, I go and do it. And the solo lane's part of the game plan as far as, we have an overall draft strategy, but usually I'm last man on the totem pole as far as getting my pick. So, except on that ETC game 3. So, but that was a lot of fun.
So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just that. So yeah, solo lane strategy doesn't come in that much as long as it, we're not horribly losing it.
So I want to go to blue 1442 there real quick here. I got a question for you. So game number 2, things were not looking so great for the first 12 levels of the game. You guys had 1 or more deaths across the board there, and then level 13 came online. So were you kind of making sure everybody on your team was aware, listen, at 13, I got you, don't you worry about it? Did you stay quiet? Did you just kind of hope that everybody would figure it out? How did that go out for you?
Oh, immediately once one of us got deleted off of the game, I was like, okay, guys, at 13, we'll be fine. This won't happen anymore. And it seemed to have worked because every time we got stunlocked, let me just pew, and then we'll be fine.
So was that the 16-second kill or the 37-second kill that you made that comment?
Yes.
Just wondering.
He was actually saying it as soon as the game was loading that it's going to be rough until 13.
We just have too much confidence in ourselves. We're like, we don't care about that stun train. We're still going to try and kill him. But the stun train was too good.
But
Let's throw some credit towards the Lunara play tonight as well. Games 1 and 2 with the Lunara up against the Uther heals. It felt strong. We know it's strong. It looked strong. How did it feel in game?
Fantastic. I mean, you get so much poison damage, and once Uther sends out his heals, he can't do anything. So I think I saw them multiple times just running away and not being able to come back into the fight.
Yeah, Murda actually, that's exactly where I was going with that, as I was going to say, hey, Murda was talking about that a lot tonight. Let's give you that chance.
And Lunara helps with what you're talking about, that macro advantage we had at times. Lunara helps a lot with the wave clear with the level 4.
And most notably, we talked about during the cast too, the Sentinel Wisp, a lot of value with the vision control in game.
Yeah, we talked about that right out of the gate too.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, Murda, you're the one who pointed out that Sentinel Wisp catching the Malthael at the Bruiser camp in the top there at the end of the game was ultimately the game-winning play, right? Like the Sentinel Wisp, your level 1
absolutely
base talent that does absolutely nothing but provide vision wins you the game because they're there and other people are elsewhere. So
Yeah, it's
really
kind of broken. Gives you a good chunk of the map, so it's really good. And a few times we caught them rotating. We're able
not
to
as
get
broken
away.
as KT's done.
Oh yeah.
There was a fair bit of that. Rek, what questions do you have here?
What questions do I have? Well, that's a great question right there. So obviously, I think it was pretty obvious you guys came in with a game plan. I think you quite literally said that. So, what did you have all your maps in mind too? On top of that, like how much planning went into this?
We definitely looked at Heroes profile. Shout out. We used Heroes profile, looked at what they've been drafting. It's kind of how we predicted the Medivh ban in the second game. The Samro ban, and we were definitely aware of like how they like to play, and we kind of we did get the Stitches draft, but we thought that was a really clever draft by switching me onto the variant and then taking the late Stitches.
Sure.
And then but I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. By all means.
I think in terms of prepping with which maps we were going to go on, I think we identified that Samuro on a large map like Cursed Hollow is something we do not want to play against, so we opted to go for the smaller map where he isn't as relevant. So starting out with Tomb and then just trying to go from there in terms of what works well for us in terms of comfort picks.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, as soon as I saw the Samuro ban, I cheered. I hate him.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I've been working on counters and I still haven't found one.
Yeah, no, he can 1v1 everybody. That seems like a fun character. So,
yeah,
get him out of there.
Well,
let's take a quick moment to celebrate these players. You guys have been with NGS for so freaking long, and finally you're sitting atop Division A as champions. How long in the making has this truly been for you guys, and how much does it actually mean to be here in this moment?
I can't really say for everyone else. I can't say for everyone else. This is only my second season of NGS, while everyone else here is major veterans.
Oh man, it feels so good to be a champion. We haven't always been on the same team, but we've exited first round, all of us, I think, every time. I think this is the first time we ever made it past the first round, and we took it the whole way this time. And I have to compliment everyone on my team's play. Has just been very on point. I even think, like all the fine details, like overlapping stuns. We haven't been doing that. The peel, and then just the DPS putting the damage on the right target, and of course Blue keeping us alive and making his own engages on Stukov and other great healers. And, man, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I second that, and I think we have been playing for a few years, whether it's an NGS or not, and there's a heartbeat to the team where, even without comms, we can combo really well and we know where to go and who's doing what, kind of the body language going on in the game, and so that really gives us an edge.
Absolutely.
So the inevitable question then is, where do you go from here? What are you looking for? Are you returning in Season 9? Are you performing in other off-season events? Off-season for NGS? Like, what's your next step?
Run it down and brawl.
That's
Hey, there's a brawl event coming up for NGS.
listen. When I won in Div C in season 6, yeah, that's what I did. I retired to brawl. That's all I play now. So
I think we haven't discussed next season too much, but I'm sure they'll make us play heroic. But I think we're up to the challenge, and we'll run it back.
That's the attitude to bring it.
Absolutely. So, Murda, Rec, any other questions? Because I've got one final one before shoutouts.
I mean, it's not a question. It is a congratulations. You guys are the champions. You knocked out our very own ReGen boys. Of course, us casters, we were maybe rooting for them a bit, but we are so happy to see a really great set and a truly fantastic champion here tonight.
Roll Tide.
Thank you so much.
Rec, anything else? Oh, sorry, Patches.
I was just going to say it's been really awesome playing with everyone, and thank you to you guys for giving this.
I definitely think
to us.
everyone's been enjoying playing again a lot more than I think many of us had, the last couple years, and we've had a little renaissance with the game, and it's been a lot of fun.
that's good. No, and it's funny you say that because my friends who just played like unranked and whatnot, it's kind of said like to me like, "You're casting? Is the game coming back?" Like, So it's fun. It's fun.
My buddy likes to say HOTS is a cult MOBA now, and it's got its cult classic crowd, and we'll always be here.
I don't hate that. I like that.
I mean, we're really a big family. You guys, all the teams, all the players in NGS, it really makes it a community.
So, one last question. You can answer this individually. You can answer it just as the captain, or I do want to hear from Star Fox on this. So, if nobody else, I want to hear from Star Fox because I haven't heard much from Star Fox other than the Roll Tide. So, my last question that I like to ask is: was there any particular moment from the set tonight that you felt needs to be highlighted, whether it's something you did, your team did, the opponents did, that you were like, that is a highlight moment? So we make sure, to shout those out.
Oh man, I think there was just so many things that I can think of. Like, let me say, like, there was Wiz getting engaged on, and then everyone ulting him, and then he just presses protect, and like, he's just alive. That was like the turning point of that Infernal Shrines fight, and then we just win the fight from there. I think, like we were saying earlier, like this team, we'd have no communication. We can go with no communication and still pull off the play. And it was a very small amount of communication that turned us to the boss play, where it's Patches and Devo on the boss. Wiz is just stalling in the bot lane, and then without saying anything, I go to the mid lane to sleep him. Like, it's just that we all know how we play with each other, and I think that's huge. So,
Sure.
I don't know. I can't think of any other plays that we.
There was that one time in the first game where we waited out the Divine Storm against the Rexar, and then once that was done, I'm like, okay, Light Bomb, go in, please.
And of course, you mean the Divine Shield, because in that game they didn't have Storm.
Yeah.
That was another game that it was close till we got to 13, and then the Leoric damage reduction was super strong. Anyway.
Yeah, I do want to say that there were some really fantastic entombs there in game number 1, setting up the plays so many times onto Rexar. Rexar himself, Misha off being somewhere else, of course. And, really well coordinated. You guys played a fantastic game tonight.
Yeah, and I would just shout out to Fox. He brought the variant into the very first game this season and said, this is the best tank in the game. And I've been saying it's trash all season in every interview to try and smokescreen it. But he's played this variant out of his mind all season.
No one can play it better.
And just always finding the right guy to get the taunt on. And hell, I'll shout out the Kill Thos in game 1. Like, if we have variant and Kill Thos, there's no moving, even with the Uther, which is super difficult to play against.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Any shout-outs? It's the end of the interview. Let's wrap it up.
I'll go first. Shout outs to my team. This has been obviously the best and most fun season of amateur HOTS I've ever played, and it's been incredible. On to Star Fox. Who do you want to shout out?
Shout out to the OG squad with Varcheesy123, Glaucus, Masterfish. That's where it all started, where we all started playing together. Yeah.
Shout out to Team GG, going back to Heroes of the Dorm. Shout out to Luxorian. Shout out to everyone we played with. Shout out to my boys Weck, Lamel, and Cam. Shout out to my mom.
Yeah, shout out to all our opponents this season as well. Div A was very competitive, and any team could win at any time, I always felt like. And it was really iron sharpened iron this season, and we only got this good because of the competition. Blue, you got a shout out?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Luxorian Snake. That was the first time I played in NGS, and it was pretty fun. And then shout out to Andy, who I hopefully is still watching as well.
Was that everybody? No? Diva? Okay, go ahead.
I got nothing. I don't know what happened with these games, and now I know how Wiz feels being in the solo lane.
It's very boring sometimes, especially double soaking. It's just back and forth, and then it's like, oh, level 16, maybe I can go team fight. They're like, no, go soak. And, darn it. Also, a very special shout out to Blue 1442. Forgot to shout him out in the semifinal, and I told him if we win the championship, I would give him a proper shout out. So
there you go.
He got us here.
There you go. Well, guys, again, congratulations. A 3-0 victory in the finals is fantastic. So excited for you. And of course, with that victory, your team logo is going to be part of the NGS Discord now. So that'll be updated after all of the teams are done.
Everyone chill in the hookah lounge.
Yep. Yep. So that'll be in existence there for all of Season 9 as just kind of a special little congratulations. But good luck in the spam tournament and having some brawl fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Roll tide,
Good work, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Keep at it. Thanks for the cast.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Show.
Bye-bye. I'm out.
Hello,
there's-
are we here?
Hello?
Do we need
You
to
there?
back?
There's
Am I
that
here
one.
now?
Okay,
Oh,
I
I
got
can't-
wrecked.
Oh, I gotta hit a
for
button. I
this
gotta hit
to
a
be all
button. Here we
messed
go.
up.
Hit the button. Oh,
There we
hello.
Oh, we're incorrect, I think.
Are we?
There we go.
I think we're
No, you're
correct.
good. You're good.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
So, guys,
What a team.
yeah, what a match to watch there. That's gonna wrap us up. We're gonna head over to NGS2 in a moment, but before we go, Murda, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? How can people find you?
So, first off, on behalf of ReGen, what a tremendous season, what a tremendous effort by Deathwing's Hookah Lounge. Congrats to them. They are the true Division A Grand Champions here in Season 8. And as for the rest of the league, overall, NGS Season 8 has been amazing. I've had a blast getting the cast. I think this was number 25 for me. Not quite Aero numbers, but nonetheless, it's such a blast to get to bring these matches, especially a grand finals along with two friends, Aero, Recychic. You guys are amazing. It's been a pleasure tonight. If you guys at home want to find me, twitch.tv/MurdaRG or over on Twitter @MurdaRG. Hope to see you guys around.
Excellent. Rec, it's your turn.
Yeah. Oh, where can you find me? In New Jersey, baby. No, just kidding. You can find me at Twitter at Recychic, at Twitch at Recychic. I don't stream much, but it's there if you want it. And yeah, where else am I? I don't know. You can shoot me DMs if you feel like. I'm very lonely. No. I like talking to people about stuff. I'm a healer main, so if you have questions or you want to just discuss something, always down. Yeah, that's where you can find me. What was that? Was that a Doge?
It was. I may have brought my special CoCaster up for a moment because she was sitting nearby.
Oh, is it Al? Because I want to.
No, he's too big.
Al.
But this is Alice, Alice is here to say goodbye to everybody. I'm Aero, and you can find me at twitch.tv/AeroRG. And appreciate you guys stopping by tonight, and hope you enjoyed the cast of this Division A Grand Finals. We're going to go ahead and send it over to the Division B Grand Finals, where Saltscale Merkles is currently up 2-0 over You Are Not Alone.
Shut up. Are you serious?
What? Totally serious. You Are Not Alone has an undefeated season until tonight. Fully 100% win rate. No maps lost until tonight.
Whoa.
So we're going to go check this out.
We're tuning into that for sure.
All right, everybody. Have a great night, and thanks again for joining us.